Remember this day, man, for it will be yours for all time.
We have shown them that a trembling hand can become a fist. We have challenged the idea that a slave must always know his place, accepting rod and lash because he was taught to accept it. We built their mighty republic with our hands and our blood and our lives. And we can see it fall at equal cost. You opened my eyes to this, Spartacus.
What lies beneath your feet? Sacred grounds, watered with tears of blood. Shall we begin? Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
So they cheated on you, left you for the person that they were cheating on you with, and now you think they're living happily ever after? Think again. That narcissist wasn't intending on leaving you. They're doing it now to get you to submit, to get you to allow them to cheat in peace. But if you made them stand on their decision to leave, they're going to be angry, and who are they going to point their anger towards? That new supply. They are degrading and devaluing that person as we speak right now. While they are trying to actively replace them, they are devaluing them, disrespecting them, cheating on them. Because here's the thing, narcissists are desperate for external validation, and they will fuck anybody. They will go slumming, and chances are they got stuck with that downgrade because you left. So now they're looking at that Neanderthal like, yeah, I know. And if they look happy in their pictures, or if they're trying to show you that they've moved on so easily, it's for optics. They want to hurt you, because the truth is they're very angry with that person because they got caught cheating on you. They will blame that new supply for them getting caught cheating. They will blame that new supply for them losing your supply. The plan was to put a rotation in place. The plan was never to lose you. So they're devaluing that person, disrespecting that person, blaming that person, triangulating that person with you as they actively go on the hunt to replace that person. It's definitely not a fairy tale.
and hail the chat. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for being here tonight. We cover one of my favorite all time, actually, Lisa Lu, content creator, narcissistic abuse awareness, someone who has a fire in her that matches thine own. I enjoyed her content. She's one of the first creators I started following when I was coming out of, well, I was coming through or still going through the Hoovers of narcissistic, all that stuff. And really, without her voice, without her strength, without her fire, her power, her passion, I might not be here, along with many others, some of which we have already covered and some yet to come. But before I continue on, I want to introduce my panel. And with us tonight is the man himself, who's terrestrial poon just doesn't shake his room. With an astral peen so lean they come from Alpha 16. My boy, immortal mother effing Coil.
Listen, there's the family you're born with. There's a family you find. Hail, my savage friends. You are listening to the throat of immortal Coil. Patal. Revolution is my name. One of God's own prototypes, a high-powered mutant of some kind, never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, too rare to die. This video contains copywritten content. However, under the Fair Use Act, Section 504C2, Title 17 of the United States Code, this content is presented for the purposes of education, entertainment, through the use of parody, satire, critique, analysis, and/or social commentary by means of subjective opinion. Viewer discretion is advised. I want to say, hail to the chat. You know, some things might tickle your fuck box, so you know.
Oh my God, the F word already? We're already dropping F-bomb? Oh, I said F earlier, didn't I? With us also, who doesn't like the F-bomb, very sensitive ears, the one, the only, one of the new members of the Dragon Storm team, been here for a month, done a wonderful job. My boy, Scott Clark. What is up, brother?
You guys are hurting my sensitive ears.
You fifis are hurting?
That's all right. We're all adults here. And listen, if I had $1 for every F-bomb I've dropped, I'd have a lot of dollars.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not very, it's not very spiritual of you, sir.
Yeah.
No, my kids.
We're humans. We're humans, man.
Yes, sir. Speaking of humans, unfortunately, Coach Randy White had other business he had to take care of tonight, and he's not feeling too well. Actually, is what it is. So, guys, if you could send out a prayer or a well wish, or whatever you could for Coach Randy, that'd be great.
You, Randy.
We miss you. We need you. You're the breadwinner here. Oh, but tonight we do have a guest, somebody that I've been following on TikTok for a long time. Another narcissistic abuse content creator, soldier of awareness. My boy, I love his name too. This is, I'm sorry, let me introduce my boy, Narc Hammer. What is up, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, James.
Pretty good.
Good. Thanks.
Nice to meet you, sir. How you doing?
You too. Appreciate the invite. First live on anything, any platform. So if I'm showing a little nervous tonight.
We're putting the pressure on you, James. We have no mercy here, bro. There's no mercy.
All right. Well, let me put my gloves on.
So before we say hail the chat, I just do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us, how you came to doing narcissistic awareness content.
Yeah, sure. So I've got about 1.5 years long awareness page on TikTok, and I'm about 1.5 years out of a 30-year in and out relationship with a very abusive narcissist, which started when I was 19 years old. I got, did go to therapy about it, and we figured out that I was probably trauma bonded back, I don't know, probably 30 years ago at this point. And she came back again like 3 years ago for the last time, and I married her slap on the hand there. And, I didn't really know what I was, what was going on until she actually called me a narcissist, and I started researching it. And, my head just exploded with all the aha moments and the wows, and just mind boggling. But yeah, it's been a rough road, and, year and a half straight out, no contact now. And, I have no idea where she is. And, I'm glad for that.
Good for you, brother. Good for you. I know that a lot of people in the Dragonstorm community were with their narcissistic partner married to, like, for a very long time. So, like, how has it been for you going through your healing journey and recovering from like 30 years of abuse?
Oh, I got to tell you, it was the first 6 months was just a lot of sleep, a lot of brain fog. I actually stopped working at the place I was working because it was a very high level position, and I just couldn't perform. So I took a break from that for a while. Now I'm back at it. I'm back at the same type of business, and I feel like I'm pretty strong right now, and I can handle anything.
You're man.
And it's actually my awareness for I don't know what you say, the narcissist now, the red flags, the whole 9 yards is very vigilant to that. You can almost smell them. I mean, it's friggin' it's nuts. After you've been pounded so hard for so long. Once you can breathe again, you actually you see him coming from a mile away.
Isn't that the truth?
So yeah,
isn't that the truth? Yeah, we
so.
I think it's for all of us. When you go through the education phase and you begin healing, and you really understand the red flags and how you were hoovered in, how you were suckered in, what kept you there. It's also a journey of introspection to discover what it was about you that kept you in a situation like that. But it's amazing that you become hypersensitive to it. You could tell how people act, how they move, what they say, and you're like, all right, I see something wrong there.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's just even in the line in a grocery store. If you hear someone talking to someone else, you're like, oh Jesus. It's just you just, it's crazy the stuff you just pick up on. And you just pray that you just pray that it was a coincidence that they said something like that, and you heard it, and that they're not really an abusive person to the person they were talking to. And it's just because I know how it is, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemies at this point. But yeah, I just want to help out, and anybody that wants to listen. I just want to give the words of encouragement. I'm a therapist by no means, but I've been through it, and I know how it is, and I've done enough research to know all the signs, and just help out where I can. So yeah, that's why I started my page on TikTok. And
well, you survived, and you're here, so we appreciate you.
I am.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah,
I'm alive. I'm breathing. And my therapist actually said, if you hadn't left, it probably would have eventually killed you. Your health. I lost almost 70 pounds during that whole event, and even then, when I was still with her and I lost all that weight, she would turn it around and be like, you know what, you look really feeble and weak. And I like bulky, heavy men. And why don't you grow a beard while you're at it? And then she would compare me to, bulky, heavy men. It would be out in public. See that guy right there? You need to look like him. So, yeah, and that was just, that on top of, I could just go through a whole list of a million things, walking behind her, making me look at the ground in public, just the dog whistling, the whole, you guys know the whole thing. Yeah. It's evil. It really is.
It's a hell of a thing.
I'm glad to be out and breathing, you know, and be able to talk to people and help out where I can.
And that means a lot, you know, especially like actually, I was talking to the person we're going to be featuring tonight, Lisa, and she was saying that because she does a lot of her content for girl spaces, she said it's so important to see men out here talking about what they have gone through and being supportive for one another after they've come out of abusive situations. And it's very important because, you know, like up until we had the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, you know, you really didn't hear anything in the media at all about men who have been with abusive women. You know, we're supposed to just knuckle up. We're supposed to just take it. We're supposed to be a different, you know, an invincible breed. And that's just not the case.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many times, you know, I would try expressing something and just, you know, I would even cry, you know, and she, you know, what are you, not a man, you need to man up. That word man up is just like,
right.
Oh man, that was just, you know, so I hear that. And,
that was the trigger word my narc used.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, man. So as someone who's come out of this situation, you know, as a man who's come out of so many years, is there any advice that you would give to any of the men or anyone in the audience who has been through a long-term abusive relationship?
Yeah, I think number one on my list, if it's at all possible, you need to go no contact with that person, because that person is just going to hoover and try to love bomb you back in. And if you're still trauma bonded with that person, you will keep going back, even though you know it's not good for you. It's just it's those hooks they got in you with that trauma bond. But yeah, no contact is just absolutely essential if at all possible. And I know everyone can't do that because there's children involved, but there are things out there that you can use. There are, you know, parenting apps, trusted family members to help you relay messages and things like that. But even if you can do, you know, right off the bat, even a day, it even helps. You start feeling it. But even if you can get through, you know, to the point where it's not hurting so much, every day you just start to think of them less and less and less. And before you know it, it's 6 months and, you know, a year, however long it takes. Everyone's different to get rid of that hook. But yeah, that's probably my number one piece of advice. And don't argue with them, because it'll just turn into a cycle of the back and forth, and before you know it, you're a mess again. And then the pain goes away when you say, okay, let's do it again, because you got that feeling again, that relief, but for only a minute. Because, you know, you give them a minute, you give them 5 minutes, they're just gonna flip that switch again, and you're right back in it. But yes, just, you know, and I know stay strong is a cliche, and I don't like saying that so much. You know, of course we're all strong, but yeah, if at all possible, just no contact as soon as you can. Make a plan. Don't tell them about it, and just get out. I know it's the toughest thing I ever had to do. I made a go bag. I had a couple pieces of luggage, and she sent me to I was waiting for the right moment. She sent me to the store to get aspirin, and I grabbed my bags on the way out the door, and I got on a plane.
Good for you. Good for you, brother. A lot of support for you in the chat, welcoming you in.
Appreciate it, guys.
With what you're saying. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, James. Good to hear some of your story. We appreciate it. I mean, we're all in the same boat. I mean, they're different people. I don't just have females in my life. I have both male and female. Well, Stephen does as well. I mean,
yeah, we got both.
It's not just like, oh, there's one narc in my life. It's not like that. For some of us, like for me, it goes back like over 25 years. I wasn't raised with it. My parents are not, they don't have those issues, but when I met my first narcissist, it was a girlfriend that I had, and it completely changed the trajectory of what I was trying to do back then. And since then, the cycle has repeated because it's familiar, and I didn't know what it was. All I knew is that it was familiar in the beginning, and then it just goes south within a matter of months or years. And that's the biggest problem, is letting this become familiar. Therefore, it feels like familiar is related to the word family. It feels like home, and that's a haunted house, man. So we have to learn how to recognize it as what it is, toxic, and say, no. What I should be accepting as being my home place of residence, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, should be different from this. It needs to be healthy. And it takes breaking that cycle of abuse. And as I always say, Stephen, G.I. Joe, what did he say?
Yeah.
The more you
know.
No, and knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
So I only learned less than a few years ago. I only learned what this has been in my life recently, and that's huge, because then you can recognize it and go, oh, that's toxic. Whereas before, it was just cloudy, foggy. It was just, oh, there's people talking, and I didn't recognize it as being symptomatic of a disorder that starts fairly normal, and then it just will go off the cliff, and it's going to land you in a really dark place. So, yeah, like you said, James, knowing you can recognize the toxic, and therefore you can make better decisions on what to do with that. And no contact is definitely the number one choice, because you can't reason with them. There's no point in arguing. It's going to be word salad. They're going to use anything you say can and will be used against you. You'll sit there and say, I'm trying to reason with you. I'm giving you this, but let me have this. And they won't. They don't create situations where it's win-win, like healthy people. Like if they say something, you go, okay, I'll give you that. Right. They'll never give you anything. So they only create situations in any conversation or situation. It's win-lose. You're going to lose and they're going to win. And that's their mindset. You can't talk to people like this. That's all it is. You can't reason. You can't talk. You can't debate. There's nothing. It's a losing situation. You just have to say, sorry, I can't do this. Not doing it. So thanks for sharing that, James.
You're welcome.
So
thank you.
Before we move on, I just want to say hi to the chat real quick. Got a lot of cool people in here. Elspeth is with us today. What's up? Thank you for being here. Christina Hale, Deborah Cohen, the Dragon Storm Secretary. Good to see you. Joshua's in the chat. What's up, Joshua? Thank you so much for being here. Who else we got? I saw Trouble. I'm sorry. Well, Mike's Trouble. MC Mike Does in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. And Beth, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Haunted houses. Somebody brought up a haunted house. You had to jump in on that. Beth, we're not doing this tonight, honey. We're not doing this tonight. All right. Look, it's too many toxic boos at one time. All right. We'll catch up later. All right. Talk down to me in a DM somewhere. Matter of fact, don't continue to ghost me. All right. And then make me real desperate for it. Okay. Thank you, hon. Good to see you guys here tonight. Let's see. Anybody that I saw Snow Dump up there earlier. But I kind of moved way past that. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you to everybody for being here. And let's move forward first. Yeah, you are trouble, Beth. Don't start. We're not doing this tonight. Okay.
Hey, Steven, real quick.
Yeah.
Narcissists are like haunted houses because you don't know they're haunted until you move in. And then, it's like bang. The walls start bleeding and everything. It's just a mess.
Yeah, I know.
And then all you can do is run.
And they're demon possessed. It's really, I want to run like a black guy out of a horror flick. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm not dealing with it, not anymore, because we can see him coming. We can see him coming. The exception of Beth. She's my toxic boo. So we're going to share the screen real quick. We're going to look at one of 3 articles that Lisa had attached to her Instagram. And I chose this one because it's a good article, and the one that I really liked had a lot of dresses, and I can't handle that. I'm going to keep my composure tonight. Coyle knows. Yeah, I like Lisa. All right, today
we have a deal, right?
We have a deal, Coyle. All right, we're gonna have a stream at some later point to release all the pent up jargon.
No.
We're not doing any Lisa Lu is my toxic boo bits tonight. We're not none of that. We're not doing any of that. We're gonna be good tonight. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. In the interview with Lisa Lu, says, "All right, thank you so much for sharing your story and insight with our readers. To kick things off, can you tell us a bit about how you got started?" And she says, "After dating yet another abusive man, I decided I needed to take a step back and understand what it was about myself that resonated with this type of human. Take accountability for my role so that I can learn and grow. 5 months later, I started a little girl power page with a topic of toxic relationships. It was a very innocent girl talk, but during this time I was being stalked, hoovered, and harassed by my most recent ex. I remember the therapist saying he was a narcissist, so I did a deep dive, and what I learned shocked me. I began to connect all the dots all the way back to my father. It was the most devastating yet freeing time for me. And I'm not sure, like, at least from my experience, when you go back and into our family histories or like into ourselves, go to therapy and start really doing the internal work. For me, it was a freeing experience learning about myself, what my triggers were, what was unhealed in me. And like James had said earlier, when you get those new pair of eyes, you see narcs everywhere. And I think that works in retrospect too. You look into your past, the relationships that you've been in, or the people that you've been around, or the influences in your life, your early life, and you can see, narcissistic tendencies or toxic personalities, and it's not shocking. At least it wasn't to me. It was educational. It was learning about how I became who I was. I think that, at least that's the track that I went down. Scotty, did you have any? Well, you said you had a pretty good upbringing, right, Scott? So
I think so. I mean, I have my childhood trauma. My dad died when I was 8 years old, and I found out also when I was pretty young that I was adopted. So right there is kind of 2 hits of feeling of abandonment, right? Mm-hmm. Other than that, I was raised well. I mean, but I can go back and realize a lot of the choices of going the wrong way was my own. I had my rebellious streak, and I started growing my hair really long, got into music, but I was listening to some like the big 4, Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica.
You're a thrash metal man? Oh, I love you even more now.
Oh, huge
thrash metal.
Thrash metal, man. Huge thrash metal. Yeah. But I was also into other stuff. I was into Striper too. So, they're great songwriters, but they don't have that sound. They're not thrash, but, I was into just a lot of heavy music, and because it helped me deal with my I didn't even understand my trauma.
Empowering.
Yeah. And I still love it. I still love it to this day. I mean, I'll still listen. I'll listen to Metallica's new one, 72 Seasons is great.
Christina's bringing up Whitesnake. Anybody listen to Whitesnake here?
Whitesnake's great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the Great Whitesnake tour. Saw both of them twice in the same tour. It was awesome.
Yeah. How about White Lion? White Lion? When the children
How do you guys feel about Pantera with Zakk Wylde?
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I think they're doing a great job. And Anthrax is Charlie's on drums. They're doing great. Yeah, I think they're doing them justice. The new Pantera.
Right. Mike Tubbs brings up Motorhead. Yeah, brothers.
Motorhead. Lemmy. Yeah, all of that stuff. I think that's all of these people. Like if you look at James Hetfield, total childhood trauma, especially with his father. That's what, like, if you go through his lyrics and you start listening to his songs, now that you know what narcissism is, it is just like I've been having a new. I mean, all the way back to Kill 'Em All. fight fire with fire. I mean, just so much stuff. No remorse, no regret. We don't care what it meant. Another day, another death, another sorrow, another breath. Like a lot of his lyrics, you can tell he's not just talking about your typical, like James never wrote about girls really. Barely ever. He doesn't write about your typical metal stuff, which is like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. He talks mostly about trauma. It's and I think
Trauma for men.
yeah, Pantera as well. You know,
Injustice for All. Like that is that's a trauma album.
That's an epic album.
Old.
Yeah,
big time.
Album.
Yeah,
back to Kill 'Em All. The Am I Evil and Four Horsemen was amazing as well.
Yeah, Am I Evil was a cover, but still, it's kind of like I've been thinking about those lyrics as well, and it's like because once you take the concept of narcissism and you really think about what you went through, and then you start reasoning. We've talked about it here on Steven's channel, just about the spiritual aspect of it. Is just like there's how in the world are all these people hurting so many people, and they're doing it in the same cyclical pattern that you and we could never even fathom coming up with. Like this, I do this first, and then once they're at this place, then I'll start doing this, and then once I get them, and then I'll start doing this, and then finally I'll do this, and hopefully they'll unalive
because
themselves.
It's spiritual warfare. It's demonic. It's spiritual warfare. Yeah.
So I go back to the song Am I Evil? And it's like, you think about that and it's like, what is he really saying? Yeah. So I love heavy metal, but now I have a new appreciation for it, especially when it comes to that kind of stuff, because it's these guys are just pouring themselves out, they're just pouring out their feelings about how they were raised. It's all childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you guys this, James and Nick especially? Where's the support for men? It doesn't exist except upon the shoulders of other men. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. And but unfortunately, like men even box themselves in because those who don't want to face those traumas, they're the first ones to say, "Man up, gut up." They're the first ones to say, "Just pull through it." You know what I mean? Just deal with it. It's a shame that we're already compounded by the fact that men have a certain way of moving and thinking, let alone the way we're structured in society. But we're not supposed to be the emotional ones, but we are emotional creatures. We have those emotions. I think one of the real crimes about getting with a narcissistic woman for a heterosexual man is when we get with a woman, when we're with a woman, that's supposed to be the person we can come home to and that can make us feel safe enough.
Yeah.
And make us that we can open up.
Safety.
And be emotional. It's kind of like men look for their moms. Women look for their dads. It's the same. It's the same dichotomy. And if you get with a narcissistic woman, she's not only does she get you to the point where you don't feel safe, you're yearning for that safety to open up, but she takes everything that she can possibly get out of you when you are opening and uses it against you and exasperates trauma and holds you down with it. Chains you down with it.
Well, what do you think, James? Go ahead.
I've actually seen, and it seems like it always ends the same way, but I've actually seen on TikTok some creators that are women creators that claim to be the advocates for men in this type of situation with narcissistic abuse, and then they're headstrong for a couple months, and then they just kind of fade off into doing the battles and getting the gifts and doing all kinds of other goofy crap. So it's almost like they lose interest because I don't know whether it's they're not getting enough support or followers, or just if they're getting bashed about it or what. But yeah, you're right. There's not it's men on TikTok and other platforms that are supporting men. And there are a lot of other women creators that are truly doing that as well. But it's just tough to see these, women advocators go on there for advocators that are women that do that, but they end up getting lost in the bushes doing something else. So we're just kind of left going, what happened?
Sorry, Christina, we're very happy for late. I mean, that's like really, I mean, it's a woman's function in a man's life. They're a boy or the husband or whomever, is for a father, for us to be allowed to open up and be emotional with, to show those softer sides. So we really do appreciate all you ladies out there who speak up and who are there for us, for we men, because it is difficult for us to express ourselves. Thank you very much, sister. So let's continue on with this. Where'd it go? Oop, that's the wrong one. Let's see. She says, the chains that were weighing me down were now broken, and for the first time in my life, nobody had control over my emotions and the way I saw myself. Knowledge is power. Strength can be found in the midst of your weakest days. As I connected the dots, I shared. I feel like the greatest gift you can give survivors of domestic abuse is the strength to understand that they weren't alone or crazy, so that they can move forward. So I began to post traits, red flags, and different tactics narcissists use to control us. I finally love myself. I love teaching others, and how to love themselves has become my passion in life. All right.
There's the moment. Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's a couple other things that were in there, like that's we don't really have the time to go over, but she when she discovered that she had a toxic home life, she went out on her own at 14 years old. So this is a woman who went out into the world younger than she should have, because of the toxic environment at home, which did have different disorders. I think her father was a narcissist. And had to struggle, throughout her life before she finally got to a place of healing, which is a track that many of us take, maybe not that young, but the strength of an individual to escape trauma, leaving a home at 14 is just mind-boggling, It's so important, guys, to be the best parents that you can be. And, recognize that, because when things happen in early childhood, it really does set the stage for us for our entire lives. And if anyone has gone through any kind of traumatic experiences like that, go to therapy, confront it, overcome it, because it's most likely it probably is the reason why you attract certain types of toxic people into your life, and narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, any other kind of disorder that is manipulative and using. Let's see. This is Lisa's Instagram, and she has a link to her website here, guys. Check her out. There's her TikTok. Please subscribe. All of the information for her is in the description of this video. If my mods would periodically throw links out for her TikTok, Instagram, and any other relevant information in there, I'd greatly appreciate that. We're going to now go over some videos and take a look at this amazing creator, and then we're going to judge them for ourselves.
Oh, geez.
And stop it, Coyle. Stop.
Sorry,
right.
my bad. Yeah.
She's hot.
What's our agreement? Right. Yeah, okay.
We're not doing this. All right. You guys ready?
Ready.
Let's get to it. Oh, that's great. I got to unmute it. We're going to start over.
What if you unintentionally start acting like a narcissist? That's actually more common than you would think. Narcissists have a personality disorder. They are out of order, and the closer you stand to a narcissist, the more scrambled your order is going to get. Their toxicity will rub off on you. You start to behave like they do. You take on their toxic traits. You start to mirror them. It becomes tit for tat. Narcissists are manipulative, and they want you to get out of character. They want you to get loud, and you do. And it scares even you, because you don't recognize yourself anymore. You want to start playing the same games that they do, because you want to hurt them the way that they hurt you. You start to become as toxic as they are. They want to cut you down to the size that they want you to be, which is unstable. And you do. You start to mirror their jealousy and their insecurity, because they absolutely drive you crazy. But here's the thing. The further away you get from a narcissist, the more clear your mind will become. The further away you get from toxicity, the healthier your mind will become. You become happier, you become healthier, your life will get better the further away you get from a narcissist. If you let go of that trauma and you stop trying to hurt them the way they hurt you or get revenge, you'll be able to heal faster. The further away you get from a narcissist, the better your life will be. The further away the narcissist gets from you, the closer they are to just destroying somebody else.
Lot to unpack on that one, Scotty. I think that the topic of reactive abuse was just talked about, brother. What did you take away from this piece?
I heard it said today. Somebody said, what was the phrase? It was like, it's basic. It's not coming to me. It's basically like the less that they know about what your life is, the better off you'll be, and the less that you know about what their life is, once you go no contact, the better off you'll be. So it's both ways. Stop oversharing on social media. The less they know, the less they'll have to use against you. Although they will make up stuff anyway. But the less you know about them, like don't look at their stuff. They're posting things as it's a weapon. What they do with social media. So don't look at their stuff. So less is more in this situation. And yeah, they will. The smear campaign, absolutely.
When it comes to when you're okay, I know that I went through this myself. I definitely went into what you would call reactive abuse, which is just being abused to the point where you become irrational. And you start lashing out. Like I lashed out. Narc X, the Hoovers went on for 3 years. So there were times when, there was a smear campaign going on, her channel or her friends or whatnot. And I reacted. And I reacted in ways that were toxic. I reacted in ways that were I just wanted to get revenge. I was just angry. I just wanted to get back at these people who were lying and stabbing at me and then playing the victim and then laughing at me. Just all this madness going on. So one of the hardest things for me to come to terms with was I was acting like them at one point. I was acting narcissistic. I was acting toxic. I was being vengeful. And in that way, the longer you stay with them, the more you take on those traits, the more you become like them. You're exchanging those energies with them. You're in it's basically, it's like energy warfare. It's a spiritual warfare. And you kind of become more and more like them. That was my experience.
Yeah, it's the darkness. That's what they do. All they have is darkness, and it can be subtle, or it can be very blatant. They can feed you cyanide with little drops, or they can feel like a whole, like a cup of acid poured in your face. Either way, you're going to react unless you learn how to be stoic. You're going to react because it hurts. They're throwing acid in your face. You go, ah, and then they videotape that and it goes, this is who he really is. You going, ah, right. Or
Amber Heard taping Johnny Depp after she whips him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then can I ask you that, Scott? Can I ask you that, James? How do you begin to heal? How do you begin to pull back your sense of masculinity? That thing that is criticized in the world. How do you own that?
Let me finish. I was doing two things. We'll go right back to that. They can either throw it in your face all at once, like a cup of acid burning in your face. You're going to react, right? Because it hurts so bad. Or they do it the slow way, which is kind of how they do in the beginning. And they give you a cup of coffee every morning, give you a kiss, I love you. But there's a little drop of cyanide in it. And every day that slowly adds up until you just feel like you're just awful and you're going to react. Your life is just going to start falling apart because you're becoming very, very unhealthy. So either way, that's all they can give you. That's all they can give you is darkness, toxicity, poison. So
yeah, it's like the frog in the boiling pot of water.
Yeah, they don't love.
They turn up the heat just a little bit every day.
Yeah,
and then before you know it, you're done.
Yeah.
James, so what Coyle was saying, how do you, after being in such a relation for that long and being around it, how do you find your authentic self again? How do you like, did she must have changed you on some levels, you know, to like beating you down, made you toxic. What was that like for you?
Yeah, there was a lot of reactive abuse, especially towards the end. You know, the last year,
Yeah.
we'll say, I think, and you know, and she would tell me, "Go ahead and react because I got my phone right here, and
Jeez.
nobody else is going to
Wow.
know it." So that kept me actually kind of, you know, from reacting until it just got too far, and then I would get up, you know, I'd walk her out of the room. I would, you know, circle. I didn't know what to do. And then I knew she was recording it. I say, look how crazy you are. You know, and then, another thing she would do was while, like, if we were both sitting on the couch, um, she would get on the phone and with a family or a friend or whoever, and she would just out loud while I was sitting there, she would talk about me. He's doing it again, or um, you know, he's acting up, or he's doing whatever. But and then she would look over to me and go, "See, go ahead. Oh, you're not talking now, are you? You're not saying anything now,
Shit.
are you?"
Mm.
While she was on the phone with a family member or a friend or anybody. So, you
Yeah.
know, it was so hard to just, you know, just bite your tongue and take it. So, you know, eventually it was just the head down thing. You know, don't react, gray rock as much as you can. But I tell you, it was just impossible. And um, I eventually was able to overcome the reacting. Um, and also that whole final year was one big reverse discard. Um,
Mm.
it
Trying to
was
make you leave.
just
Driving you
yeah,
insane, so you have to
just
leave. And
the,
then
the
they'll
got
say that
so
you're the
bad.
bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
It got so bad. Um, you know, she would, and here's a brutal. This one I think took the cake of what she probably did was.
What she
Um,
do?
she would tell me to, you know, you just need to go and unalive yourself if you leave because no one's ever going to love you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then she repeated that many times, and then I finally reacted to it and said, you know, that's pretty effed up. You're telling me to do that. It's effed up. Why would anybody
It
say
is.
to go
It's
do
fucked.
that? And then she comes out and goes, "What are you talking about? I never said go. I never said go do that. I said go. I said go slap yourself." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Go slap yourself." That is not what you said, right? And so she kept
Mm-hmm.
drilling that. I didn't say that. I said, "Go slap yourself. Go slap yourself. Go slap yourself." And I'm like,
Gaslighting.
"Whatever, f you."
Yes,
So
sir.
from
Yep.
that day on, any little argument or any little other thing, she would use that as a metaphor. Even in a store, she would use that as a metaphor. She would say, "Go slap yourself." Me knowing I know exactly what she's telling me to do.
Yeah.
There's your dog whistle right there. So
Wow.
out in public, anywhere else, go slap yourself if she would tell me. And I knew exactly what she was talking about. And that was probably the worst mind F, um, one of the worst mind Fs that she did.
You can say it,
So
man. It's a mind fuck.
there was a mind fuck. Yeah, it was just a total mind fuck. So
Go ahead.
that whole final year was just that, and just the reactive abuse, and just a constant, uh, brutal reverse discard. And that's when that was the final. You know, I said, you know, I packed the bag, I hid it under the porch, and that day, that Freedom Day was when she sent me to the store, and I didn't look back. Of course, I didn't block right away. You know, I did get on a plane. I went down to Florida to work. My company put me up down there. They knew what I was going through. My lawyer said, "You need to go do this and stay down there. I'll take care of everything." And then, you know, of course, I didn't block her. I didn't listen to anybody. I didn't block her for it must have been at least a month, 2 months. So the Hoover and all that, you know, love bombing shit still went on until it was just like, finally, my lawyer is like, "Get a new phone number, cut the shit, you know, just because she was asking for everything through the
Sever.
roof. She
Like
was asking
that
for
sounds like
everything
hard for
through the
you.
roof.
Like you had to sever, and you
Yes.
you
Yep.
still loved her. Is that what I'm
Exactly.
feeling?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's exactly
I
what,
understand, brother.
what it was like.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the kicker was the divorce. She never showed up for one hearing. She just basically disappeared off the face of the planet. They gave her 10 days after the fourth time she didn't show up, and she never responded. And at that point, the court was very pissed off. And they canceled. And this was her divorce. Oh, and here's another mind fuck. She filed for divorce, then she unfiled, then she filed to unfile for divorce, and then filed again, and then never showed up for shit. So,
all games.
Four hearings, and here I am sitting in court, staring at the clock, morbid, just dreading her walking through the door, which was another twisted thing, and I'm sure it was intentional. I would guarantee it was all intentional. So I came back from Florida and the house was empty. So she had took everything. So I told the judge that on the final hearing that she didn't show up, and he's like, you know what? Her divorce is canceled up. You're free and clear. I'm rewriting you a divorce right now. The judge stepped up and was like, this woman's obviously crazy. He didn't say that, but in so many words,
playing games.
And then he actually said she's playing games with the court, and they're not going to stand for it. And he goes, do you know where she is? Because there's like three addresses here. And I'm like, I have no idea where she is. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to send this out. She has 10 days to respond. If she doesn't respond, I'm signing this, and you're a free man. So and that was the end of it. And that final that paperwork came through. You know what? It'll be a year to this day. It'll be a year on the 15th where that final divorce was completed, and it'll be a year and a half no contact. So even during the divorce, there was no contact. So I didn't even break contact during divorce because it was nothing. There was nothing said between the two of us. She sent my sister a few messages, which were relayed for legality reasons, for lawyer stuff. But my sister would not forward me any bullshit texts that she sent her. She protected me from that. And that was the only phone number that she could contact anybody, because I had changed my phone number. The emails were all dead. All the social media was dead. The only way she could have ever possibly got a hold of me was to pull up in the driveway, which she never did.
Good. But
I'm here standing, and I'm pretty strong now, and I got a great my career's back, and I just want to help people out. I did actually meet a wonderful woman who had gone through the same thing as I did, and we're both still healing. And I think who better to create a really strong, loving relationship with is someone who actually has gone through the same thing, because you understand each other.
It's kind of the only way you can go at this point.
Exactly, and I thank God she popped up into my life a few months ago, and we're working on it. So I'm very happy.
That's a happy ending. I like to hear that, James. Thank you. You just gave me hope.
You got it.
Yeah.
Kill it.
You got it.
Yeah. That was the first. Thank you also, because it was the first time I'd heard anyone hear something that echoed with me, which is, to go kill yourself. Just go kill yourself. Just go, because I dealt with that too. Is go ahead and just do it, And it's a hell of a thing to hear somebody say that you're fighting for, pouring your heart out to, trying to fight for, that you're going when you're going through everything that you've gone through, for them to just say, go ahead and do it. We just get it done. But to use it as a trigger like she did, that's the next level evil, James. Thank God that you survived that.
Next level.
It's next level. Adventures with Beth, she was with a malignant narcissist, a psycho narcissist. Says she had been run down in her car with a gun held to her head. I think that's the type of thing she had to deal with. She also had, she also had to make an escape plan at one point and literally move like down several states away to get away from this guy who was heavily abusive. Put her in the hospital. Horrible. Beautiful story. Thank God Beth's still with us and has a beautiful heart. But, you know, some of the things that these narcs will put us through, like they want you to die. Like, and Lisa was talking about, in that video, she was talking about reactive abuse. She was talking about becoming like them. The only way to become heal is to get away from them. Because they want to change, not only do they want to change you into them and make you feel as defeated and angry and evil and soulless as they are, but they really, I think their crowning achievement is getting you to off yourself, getting you to die, you know, because think of it this way. Now they can talk about the crazy ex yeah, it's a victory. Right. Now they can talk about the crazy ex that loved them so much, but they were sick in the head and they eventually off themselves. You know, it's sickening. It really is.
The ultimate victory. Button. They want you to disbelieve in yourselves to that point, and it's sickening. Yeah,
it really is. Absolutely is, man. All right, let's move on to this one.
The most disgusting thing about a narcissist is they want to be the cause of you being really unhappy, of you feeling jealous or insecure or unstable or even crazy. See, narcissists play with little demons in their head. They protect their demons. They love their demons. They use their demons and that childhood trauma as an excuse to traumatize you. A lot of people think that you say things to narcissists and they just get over it. They don't care about what you said, but that is not true. Narcissists obsess about the thoughts that are in their mind. If you said anything to cause a narcissistic injury, even if you don't realize that you did that narcissist will want to make your life miserable. They want you to be as unhappy as they are, but they want to be the cause of your unhappiness. They want you to obsess and be anxious just like they are. They want you to feel as insecure and crazy as they are, but they want to be the reason you feel this way about yourself. They want you to self-loathe like they do, and they will feel so powerful if they can get you to feel as horrible and as just empty as they feel. It gives them a sense of pride that they were able to alter your emotions and your feelings. They are that sick and in need of controlling that they will feel so powerful and so good every time they make you feel so bad and so unwanted.
Coyle, what is it about a human being that would want to be that way to another?
Stuck in the dark side, incarnating for a specific purpose. Listen, I don't know what your faith and spirituality are, Scott.
Well, it's like spiritually, just spiritually.
Unhealed. They are unhealed entity. Yeah, they're seeking the opposite, and they don't realize that that's what they're doing. Yeah,
Gotti, when we talk about spiritual warfare, you know, she says that they like to play with the demons in their heads. They become manic. When I hear that, I think about like dark forces, like a demonic force, just driving them to continue. And you know, suck light out of people, suck darkness out of people. Like, how do you see that on a spiritual level?
That's just what it is. I think to sum up this video is misery loves company, and they just want you to feel as miserable as they are, and they want to be the cause of it. They want to be the source of it, and that goes back to something deep inside of them, because a true human soul, a real human, is empathetic and would not wish that on another human. So that goes back to something that's just far more evil than a created human being. That's something I believe is a spirit inside of them that literally is so miserable that they want everyone to be, it is not to them in their sick, twisted sense of what is right and what is fair. They look at somebody who's happy and living in joy and maybe has love in their life and is enjoying things and has fun hobbies and loves people, and they think that's not fair. I have to take that person down. I have to blow out that candle. I don't like that light. It must be as dark as me. I will blow that light out. I will make you miserable. And that somehow is going to make me feel a sense of justice. Why? Because they're demons.
James, how do you feel?
Humans are empathetic. Humans have empathy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both Scotty and Coyle on that. They see something you have, and they want it, so they'll do anything, and it's all intentional, in my beliefs, that they'll do anything or say anything they can to take your happiness away, because you know, we're not allowed to be happy. If they're not happy, then no one's happy. So they'll do anything they can, and yeah, Coyle's right. They're unhealed, and I think that you know, I don't know if they'll ever be healed, but you know, maybe deep down inside, that's how they think they're healing themselves, and it makes them feel better to it justifies. They get justification out of the I guess, what do I want to say this, they get satisfaction out of seeing other people hurt because they're hurting, so that's what makes them feel better. And yeah, it's pure evil, totally.
Yeah.
I would add, it really is.
I would add this. I don't believe that they think that they're healing. I believe that just like everything else a narcissist does, it is just to have get gratified in the moment, whether that's any kind of pleasure, alcohol, sex, drugs. They feel like it's a temporary satisfaction to belittle someone, to tear them down, to smear them, to get a rise out of them, to manufacture their emotions, but it goes away. And so they got to do it again, and it goes away, and then again, it's never satisfying. Healing means you're finally in that place where you can let it all rest, right? They'll never get there. They're just always, I need another drink. I need another sex partner. I need another someone to flirt with me. I need another someone to hurt or destroy or crush my foot on. So healing with a narcissist, no, I don't see it.
So
I see self-gratification, instant.
Real quick before I move on, Mr. Tickle Trunks, Canadian $5. Thank you so much, brother. He says, please remember, in order to stay monetized on YouTube, you have to use coded language to say things like self-delete instead of that other 5-word. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I got very comfortable in the conversation, and I sometimes forget that YouTube is weird about certain phrases and words. I appreciate you, Mr. Ticket Trunk. Thank you very much for the $5. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being and supporting the channel. Scott's right, because all right, so the narcissist, okay, when has this narcissistic shell that they create around them in order to exist in the world and see things differently through that funhouse mirror and everything, and they need external validation to maintain the false ego that's placed around it. So everything's about outward motion with them. Like everything it's not about healing. It's not coming from the center. A healed person faces their traumas, heals themselves so that they can be authentic. They can draw from confidence, self-love, self-reliance. And narcissistic people don't do that. And when they see that in someone else, you're right, they want to snuff that light out. They want to destroy that confidence. They want to destroy that love that you have inside. They want to control you because they have no sense of control over themselves. And they're also manic thinkers. Well, some of them are manic thinkers, especially if they're drug addicts or they have a substance problem, you know, the wheels are constantly turning. Who they can abuse, how can I lie, what can I get, who can I triangulate? They're always going through that over and over again in their head. And it's all about being a sponge, being an energy vampire, destroying everything around them because their core is destroyed. And that's not how a human can function and have empathy and compassion and love. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself, if you don't know what love is.
So then, may I pose this question, especially to
Yeah.
the new guys on the panel? How do we sew up this hurt in our soul? How do we become whole men again? And especially on the emphasis of men, because I feel like we're tragically overlooked in society. What are your opinions, gentlemen?
Well,
That's why we need Randy here.
yeah, right. Right.
I could tell you. I could tell you one of the things I did. I went out and started doing everything that she wouldn't allow me to do.
Yeah.
I started playing softball again. I started to go shoot guns again. I started to go, you know, I saw my kids 1,000% more, because that was one of her stipulations, was my kids could only come over on Sunday at 4 o'clock for an hour, because she didn't want her day interrupted. You know, I really got my whole life back. You know, to a point where, you know, I would just I'd go grab, you know, I got a bucket of softballs, you know, 50 balls, whatever. I'd take a construction comb, go down to the field. You know, I even wrote Narcissist on the balls. You know, I wrote a bunch of, I wrote a whole bunch of trigger words on the balls. You know, I made a video. I got a video on my page, a bunch of them about it, and you can see the balls that say Narcissist, and they say
hit the mouth the park.
All the bullshit they say. I wrote it all on the ball, and I just would go down there, and I would just smash balls out into the woods, you know. But that was one of the things that I did, which was, you know, I did that a couple times, 3 times a week, just to snuff out some anger. And by the way, it's definitely okay to be angry. You know, be as angry as you want, because you know, it's justified. It's absolutely justified to be as angry as you want, and that actually helps you heal. So that's one of the things that I did. Just do the things you loved, and I did everything she wouldn't allow me to do while we were together. So that really brought me back to life. So
thank you, man. That's what wonderful explanation. And I don't think I could add anything to that. Scott, is there anything you can add to that?
Thanks, guys.
No, that's what it is. Good stuff.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, man. Thank you for that enlightenment. All right, so
right on.
Christina says X was addicted to drugs, porn, gambling, sex, etc. Such an unfulfilling existence. Well, they have to fill up that hole, right? It's the bucket with the holes at the bottom. And you keep trying to fill this bucket up, you know, as a supply, and it's just pouring out the bottom because you're going to refill that bucket up. And they're constantly trying to fill up this void in themselves, but they're not really facing. They're not facing themselves. So it's all patchwork. It's like throwing Band-Aid on top of a broken bone. Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid. You know, you're bleeding out. You're bleeding out of your liver, and they're just throwing a Band-Aid on it. Throw a Band-Aid on it, and that's what the drugs are, and that's what the sex is, and that's all the hedonistic things that they do. That's all it is, you know. And it's never going to fix the problem. The problem is you're unhealed, and if you, depending on how old the narc is or how long they've been avoiding it, go to psychotherapy, for God's sakes. All right, let's move on to the next video from our girl Lisa here.
Oh, you're gonna make me stop it. Hey.
Stop it. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Everything and everyone a narcissist does after that discard is so maliciously intended to escape accountability from the vile way they threw you out. They will lay down with anybody who will validate them. They cannot be alone. It will force them to face their shame and their demonic thoughts. They know exactly who they really are, but they convince themselves that you are the problem. A narcissist knows how horrible they really are. They know that they lie, they know that they cheat, they know that they use people to get what they want, but what they don't know is how to self-reflect. They cannot take accountability for what they did. They make sure that they twist everything up in their twisted little mind so that they convince themselves that you are the problem. Especially if you don't move on, they believe that nobody wants you because they need to move on quickly. They cannot be alone. They cannot self-reflect. They cannot carry that shame. They will lay down with anybody who makes them feel like you were the problem because they cannot face the fact that they are just disgusting, horrible human beings. And it doesn't matter what kind of proof you bring to them to prove it. They know. They already know the type of piece of shit they really are, but they will go over and beyond in their own mind to prove that the problem was you and not them.
God, I love Lisa. That's some videos I was talking about, y'all. Well, I was like, yeah, F that narc. That's dead truth right there. Just spitting real. Yeah, they can't be alone because if you had this, what?
Everything and everyone. A narcissist.
Because if they do sit alone for too long, then they would have to reflect and look at themselves. If they did sit alone for too long, if they didn't have somebody to torture, somebody to destroy, somebody to drain, then they would have to actually look at themselves, look in the mirror for a moment, and they are incapable of doing that. That's why they lie. That's why they got to keep moving on and moving on. That's why when Narc X ditched you to try with the person they triangulated you with, don't think that that was the only person they were talking to. They got tertiaries, they got people in the stable, they have all kinds of supply, people that they know they left on the hook, they left on good enough terms they've been away from for long enough that they can go back and fuck with them. They can go back and drain from them. Anything possible to do that to take accountability. That's why they ghost you and trigger your abandonment. That's why they treat you like shit and then they don't talk to you because they're going to go to somebody else and they're going to start playing games with them, whether it's grooming a new supply or whether it's just going back to somebody they've already been ghosting so that they can further the trauma bond with them. It is all about external validation. It is all about the external destruction. It is never about to take accountability, never about owning their shit, never about trying to heal. It is all about destroying life after life after life because that's how these soulless demons operate. And if it's not a narcissist that cheats, because they all don't cheat, some are cerebral, they're not semantic, it's always going to be messing with somebody new. It's always going to be going and creating drama in another circle, going and breaking down somebody else's friend, going and talking trash about a relative. And it's always about making sure that everybody else around them is fighting. They love creating chaos. They love watching other people break one another down so that they can sit back and feel like they have control. They created that chaos. They created that nonsense. This is how they function. This is who these demons are. I was on a high horse for a minute because Lisa got me hyped. That is the truth of it. That's the truth of it. I don't know. Anybody want to add to that?
You have a charge in that matter, sir? What do you think? Why don't you tell us more?
Was powerful.
What's that, James?
That video was definitely powerful and on spot on.
In hindsight, when you look back, you're like, God, all that was really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally thought I was in a long-term, and I've been with, different people. I can look back in my life, going back like over 25 years. And I thought that I was in a real relationship that would last. And then when you realize this, you knew that you come to the realization that the whole time that you were like in it to win it, in it, it's us against the world. They were thinking you're just temporary and your time's coming.
Oh yeah.
Because I've got other things going on that you don't know about.
Oh yeah. Mine used to say, I am destined to cheat on you.
Damn.
I was like, what? And this was when we're married. Yeah. And, well, thanks for telling me that, I would say. And she goes, actually, I wouldn't be cheating on you because we're not together. No, she would text me this crap. I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? You know, what do you do with that? I mean, who says that?
I don't know,
Well,
but I'm
hey,
starting to
we
think we
know.
were dating the same person. I don't know. Honestly, James, I'm starting to think we dated the same person. I don't know.
Oh man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the insanity.
Why did you marry me? And she would say, I can look back now and kind of chuckle about it because it's so out there, the shit she said. Her response to why did you even marry me was, I just wanted to see if you'd go through with it.
Well, and
you know,
I'm sorry to say this, man. She already
twist.
had Chad. She already had Tyrone and
man.
the wings. You know.
And she would say, well, I chose you. Man, you're right, because she would say, you know, I got 4 of the guys with beards lined up, so you better start
and she didn't
right.
even give a fuck, did she?
No,
not even half.
And you know what the saddest part is, right? Because I mean, that's the truth of it too. And I was in the same boat, James. You know, we all were. All of us were. The one that they stay with is the one that's the most easily manipulated. You know, and by that me too. And that means the one that would put up with the most. You know, until they wouldn't put up with it anymore. You know, it's sad. Because absolutely, they're texting and talking to other people. They got other people in the wings, and they get off. These chick narcs. I don't know about guy narcs. I mean, I'm sure it's the same, but they get off on you not knowing that they have to throw those hints. That they're like so proud of themselves that they've deceived you and backstabbed you.
Dude, they planned this shit out, and I'm sorry for all you beautiful women, but listen, go ahead.
Yeah. I would hear her phone buzzing under her pillow all night. It would keep me awake. Every half hour, bzz, 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 the fucking phone buzzing. Because she'd stuff her phone under her pillow at night, sleeping.
After you, brother.
After she sleep deprived me for 2 hours till 3 a.m, and then instantly, isn't it amazing? Boom, they shut off like a light and go right to sleep, and leave you there. A dumpster fire, wondering what the fuck just happened.
Yes, sir.
Then I got to sit there and listen to her phone buzzing under a pillow. So, yeah, messed up.
Yeah, man. I feel you, brother. My love to you. I went through practically the
I'm
same
trying
thing.
to say, Stephen, is that these things manifest differently for women than they do for men, and we have to recognize those signs because. I'm sorry to say it, we're getting played.
Good time.
Okay. I mean, it is a hell of a thing to deal with somebody like that. It's unapologetically just evil. Just enjoys playing games. Just enjoys those games. You know, whipping you up, making you crazy, right in front of your face if they can, and then looking for you to act out. Just like what you went through. I mean, Scotty went through the same thing. I went through the same thing, where they're whipping you up to a point where they want to collect the evidence of your reactive abuse so that they can go smear your name out there about it, so that they can present that as if that's your actual self. That's what I'm actually the victim. Look at what they're doing to me. These demons. That's what they do.
And then everything that we come to realize is the personality disorder, and everyone's different. Some of them cheat, some of them don't. But I would say most of them are getting to supply regardless.
Right.
They're gonna say they're gonna take whatever they can get from you, photos, videos, emails, text messages, anything that was going on, including. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to say that you were doing those things. Everything's 180 degrees off. And that's why it's satanic personality disorder. It's because Jesus's cross is up like this and Satan's cross is like this, 180 degrees off, because that's their narrative. Their narrative is almost always start with 180 degrees off. Whatever they say, it's 180 degrees off. It's not just a little bit off, really. You know, they will say, they won't smear you with some total nonsense. They'll smear you with something that they actually do. 180 degrees off.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did it. And you're sitting there going, what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? That's not my character.
Mm-hmm. It's that projection, man. It's all about that. Like, they'll tell you what they're going to do to get you to react in a certain way.
Right.
And then they'll good.
We, you know, everybody has a right to protect your character. And so that's the jugular, man. That's the jugular. They go right for that. Because that's going to get a reaction. Nobody likes their character smeared.
No. Especially when you're going through abuse. And it's the exact opposite. It's erroneous. You know, it's the exact opposite of what's going on, which is just the chaos they love to create. And I like, you know, what you were saying about not all narcissists cheat. No. But like they still triangulate. Those who don't cheat, like the cerebral ones, they're still creating situations where they're kind of cheating in the way that they are telling your secrets to other people, or they are, you know, like siding with others, to like triangulating as far as creating chaos with family members or friends, trying to create wedges. I mean, that to me is cheating as well. It's betraying your partner, betraying the trust of your partner, and you know, attacking them. Like that's not love. That's not love, in my opinion. Actually, absolutely. Triangulation is an earmark. They all triangulate, Christina. They love playing puppet master. They love creating problems for which there is no solution, and then getting two parties to fight over a problem they created by making both of them think that the other one was the problem. They love doing that. Right.
They talk to one person and say that you're saying, like, if you get person A and person B, the narc is C, and they'll say that A is telling B such and such, and B is telling A such and such, or talking about them, and then A and B think that you're enemies when literally you don't know anything about each other. You have nothing to say, but all of a sudden you have like somebody that's smearing you, and literally they're not.
Right.
And they think that you're smearing them, and literally you're not. It's all this fantasy world. They're great. They're storytellers. They write fiction. That's what they do. And they create fictional stories which generate, number one, like you just said, problems that can't be fixed. And number two, whatever it is, it generates drama and emotion, and then they feed off of it. And that's triangulation. They feed off of two people's emotions by getting them to go after each other. And so once you have the knowledge that this is going on and you might be in that kind of dynamic, then you have to like just tell yourself, this is the dynamic I'm in, and I need to realize that there's a lot of BS going on, and I'm not going to feed it, and I'm not going to give them what they want.
What do you think, Scott?
Bingo.
Yeah. Those adventures with Beth. I think if you've got a TikTok account, I think you should go follow Narc Hammer, because I feel like there's a lot of correlations between what you went through and his experiences. Because she just said, "What family, what friends? I wasn't even allowed to have them," and that goes back to something that James was saying earlier.
And I was just going to actually mention that Adventures with Beth said, "What family, what friends? I wasn't allowed to have them." Exactly. They will isolate the shit out of you. Example, she had me believing my whole family was talking shit about me, and they were, you know, telling her, "Why are you with him? He's bad, blah blah blah." Unbeknownst to my family, she never even spoke with my family. So she had me blocking everybody, blocking my friends, blocking my family, blocking everybody. My sisters had to reach out to my friends to ask me, you know, where's my brother? Is he okay?
Wow.
So finally somebody got through to me, and I'm like, yeah, and that's when the wheels started turning, and I started doing the research, and, you know, finally when I escaped, I just got a hold of everybody together, and I was like, look, this is what's going on. And my family was just like, we knew it. We knew it. We knew she was, you know, she was nuts, and we knew she was a psycho. And we, you know, unfortunately, I met this one when she was 19, so my family knew her, but they supported me. You know, they supported me when I went back to her. I wish they had kicked me in the ass, but they loved me, and if I seemed happy, then they're gonna be happy for me.
Yeah.
But all in the background, there was all this chaos and torment in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. They knew subconsciously that all that shit was going on, but you know,
And you can just
they couldn't do anything about it. And my friends were afraid to come by, you know, and say hi. They didn't want to get me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It was to that point where, you know, they didn't want to get me in trouble for coming to say hi to their buddy. So yeah, I can totally relate with what Beth said. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little correlation there, because what you went through was pretty extreme, and for a long time, and Beth also went through a similar situation. So,
and you can be guaranteed, James, that her family believes a completely false narrative about your experience. They think, like, I know that for me in my situation, there's a bunch of people who have no idea what my experience really was from my perspective. And it's 1,000 times worse what they believe than, or it's number one, it's 180 degrees off.
mm-hmm.
And number two, it's dramatically expanded upon what really happened. So it's just, they're liars. They're liars.
True.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Lion monkeys out there, and people that love toxicity and will get involved just because they want to feel righteous by creating drama. It's 180, like he said. It's satanic personality disorder. It's completely in the freaking reverse. Doesn't make any sense. Real quick, I want a couple people in the chat I want to mention. Mr. Tickletrunk says, they're fighting over me. I'm worth something. Is a story they tell themselves after setting up the fight in the first place.
Yep.
Christina says, I still cry thinking about the abuse and knowing the person I fell in love with never existed. It's too much. I was right there with you, sweetheart. And it is too much, but it was an illusion that was cast over you, honey. It was an illusion. And you're the better person for believing, for continuing to try and believe and try to heal someone who had no intention of healing. But does it make you, does it make you naive? Maybe. Weak boundaries? Probably. But it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're not worth love. And it doesn't mean that there isn't someone out there who could respect what you bring to the table. It is terrible. It is absolutely terrible what you went through. I mean, James, is there any advice you could give Christina?
Me?
No, James, you want me to read it off for you, bud? She says, I still cry about the abuse and knowing the person I fell in love with never existed. It's too much.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. That person never did exist, and they had that mask on for so long that's what you fell in love with, and you know, whether they ripped it off and then started to just come at you, or it slowly faded, and then by then it's too late and you're already forehead high in the shit. But that's definitely right. You absolutely fell in love with that person that was just not that person. They didn't exist. That real person didn't exist, not at all. You fell in love with what they wanted you to see.
And what's amazing is when you realize that they're in contact with numerous people who have different personalities, and they have created a mask for this person and for this person and for this person. They're all different. So that's got to be exhausting to try to remember who you are with this person, who you are with this person. And that's why when the mask starts to slip, you're like, who are you?
Exactly.
I don't even know you. Do you exist? Like, I literally... with different people in my past, I remember at the end of the relationship, I was in this place in my head going, I don't know you. Who are you? I can never rely on your personality as being like, oh, I know her, she would never do this if this happened, or I know that this person because they would always do this when this happens. You just realize you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's because they have different masks for different people, and that's also why they isolate you, because they can't have all these people together, because they would be like, who am I going to be? Because there's nothing in there. They're not a person. There's nothing there apparently, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's all an exterior facade.
All fake. Yeah. Yeah. Constructed from all of the people that they have been with, all the situations and all the different environments that they've had to adapt to and take energy from.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. Kevin Yang says, the covert sexual narcs are extremely dangerous. One approached 2 to 3 friends and acquaintances of mine online randomly for casual sex. Yes, sir. This gentleman and I have had similar experiences. Yes. It is crazy. Especially when they use it to get in between friendships. They flirt or try to sleep with friends that you may have had a falling out with, or that have, fall to the wayside, and they will sleep with them just to create triangulation, just to make you even more insane, to make you feel even more isolated. It is, and there's no shame. There's no shame. They will sleep on a bum that done pissed on themselves if it led to money, drugs, or supply. That's what the covert women do, man. I know, brother. It's insane. All right, let's move on to another video. And let me see. Did I bring it up? Let's bring it up. All right. And hold on. Here we go.
Listen, being with a narcissist is not for the faint of heart, and if you decide to stay, you're going to need some tips, because you're going to need to develop a thick skin. You're going to need to get used to walking on eggshells, being the center of their rage, being lied to, cheated on, manipulated, confused, being at fault for everything that goes wrong with their life. You're going to need to get used to the humiliation, the criticism, the disrespect, being devalued. You're going to need to get used to lying for them, because you can't tell people how you met on a dating site because they were already seeing somebody else. You need to get used to being triangulated with their ex. You'll need to get used to them liking everybody else's photos. Oh, and the fake accounts that are going to hit you up to tell you that they're cheating on you. You're going to need to get used to being disrespected. You'll get used to not feeling well, like the hair loss, the bloody noses, the BV, the UTIs, the stomach issues. You're going to need to get used to taking some things like antibiotics, the silent treatment while they cheat. You're going to need to get used to being humiliated, being disrespected, being thrown out, being begged back, being triangulated with every other person on the planet. You're going to need to get used to being jealous and just really unstable. Are you up for it?
So I have a kind of weird perspective here, because Scott might kind of see a few things here, but two narcissists came at me. My ex that I was sleeping with is a narcissist, and then she found another narcissist, an overt. And so a lot of the times when she would come back to me to love bomb, hold on, let me bring this down. When she would come back to me to love bomb, she would tell me stories about what's going on with the other guy. And I don't want to get personal about it, but a lot of what she just mentioned were things that happened. UTIs, getting thrown out in the middle of the night. Mutual friends having to go pick her up because they had gotten into a fist fight, or she was getting beat up, or getting threatened, or getting guns, aimed at her. And she would her and her kid would have to get absconded out of this place. I mean, she's the one that kept going back and triangulating, and I was not the only person being triangulated by both of these people he was triangulating with other women, she was triangulating with other men. I was one of those men in this grand scheme web of narcs, just being narcs and hurting other people and going after supply. But this is what a lot of what she said in that video, I remember hearing, from her when she would come degrade him and tell me stories about what was going on there and what she was dealing with there. All the way up to the last Hoover, where I didn't want the Rhea. where they were messing around with gonorrhea. I was done. I was it, Scotty. I said, I ain't sleeping out. You ain't hoovering me in with the poo-tang this time because I don't want to catch the ring. Like, you know what I mean? Like that guy, I got limits.
Right.
Scott. I was sipping for a while, but I had limits. No, but like the triangulation aspect, and the cheating, right? The cheating parts. I dealt with the semantics. So it was sex was one of their escape, sex addictions and all that. And that was the damn truth, dude. Sneaking over to, like, for my opinion, like, red flags abound, guys. I was an idiot. You know, coming to me because so-and-so was cheating on her, or so-and-so wouldn't pay for her morning after pill. And then coming to me and to complain about it because she needed emotional support. Like, I was an emotional crutch as well as financial crutch. And that is the way that Narc X lived. So, you know, I'm sure the ladies in the chat understand what I'm talking about. Do you gentlemen identify? Well, like, let's go with Scotty, because Scotty dealt with 2 narcs too. Was any of that relevant to what you dealt with, and as far as the triangulation and dealing with, you know, narcs putting you in the middle of their drama?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they do behind my back, but I've been in a couple relationships where I feel like that is what was going on. There was one like 20 years ago that was definitely, you know, on the internet with another guy, and she literally flew out to a different state she was gone for like 2 weeks, and I'm broken inside going, what is going on? You know, I had no idea what narcissism was back then, but we weren't triangulated though. I don't know who he was, but yeah, I don't want to get like super like go into my thoughts could get really deep on that kind of stuff, but yeah, I do. I've watched plenty of videos, and I know that this is the kind of thing that happens, and it's sad because there's always this part of us, because we're human, empathetic, caring creatures, that wants them to stop behaving like this. And you want to hold on to that love that you had for that person because you don't want it to be such a complete, total freaking waste, you know? And it's like, and then you realize that it is very possible that this is how they behave. And this is so sad. It's so sad. And if you could snap your fingers and have them stop behaving this way, you know, you'd do it without revenge, with nothing, just like fix it. But that's not reality. But yes, a narc will destroy your relationship and then find another narc. Not a replacement for you, but maybe a narc that thinks he can replace you.
They think. They want. It's jealousy. It's jealousy, Scott. It's all envy. It's all whatever. Whatever. Okay, because
it's envy.
Absolutely. I have dealt with male narcs in the past. All right, and let me tell you something. They're getting. I don't know what it is. They want us. They want to suck it. That's the problem. They want to be you so bad. They want you in their mouth. I don't understand it. It's a weird kind of gay stalkish thing. I don't know, John De La Rose. I dealt with a lot of them, and it's just you would got to ignore them and keep shining. It is a shame to deal with another dude who is so jealous of you, your power, your strength, your compassion, your ability to connect with people, your truth, your honesty, your light, that they have to stalk you, that they want to be you, that they have to smear you, that they have to do shows about you, that they have to do these things. That is the saddest effing thing in the world. Just imagine how weak of a human being that is, how weak of a turd, of a shell of a person that is, that they have to try and destroy your light because they have none within them. I've been dealing with this for a long time, Scotty. You know, I've given you advice on this. And you know where we know where we're at now. And as far as the ones that came after me, we are now a year plus removed from when they initiated their smear campaigns. You know what I'm doing, Scott? I'm out there on Twitter breaking their balls, because narcs cannot hide who they are forever. They will eventually expose themselves for the pieces of trash that they are. And when they do, you can choose or not to go after them. You can choose or not to or you just walk away and just let them destroy themselves. I call myself the Narcissist Slayer for a reason. You know, like I ain't having it. And I've been pushing these narcs. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little full of my ego. Excuse me, y'all. But I've been pushing these narcs around that came after me when I wanted to die, when I wanted to kill myself, that supported Narc X, that got involved with the smear campaigns, that did articles, that did shows on the regular segments about me that were lying, untruthful, that were propping up people who lied about me, people who stabbed on me in the past, and now they are being exposed for the trash that they are. I'm sorry, Walton's got a little gusto. I'm out there just pointing this out, because what is going on in my situation is that there are so many people that have been burned by these narcissists. There's a trail of bodies. There's a trail of negative actions, of smear campaigns, of flying monkeys being used, that all of these people, including myself, are just coming to the forefront. So now there's a whole army of narcissistic abuse victims, survivors, who have been through the smear campaigns with these grandiose pieces of shit, these soulless demons, that we are all coming together to point out the fact. And they're fallen. A narcissist cannot sustain themselves forever. They will eventually fall. They will eventually not be able to get that next supply. Their looks are going to fade. Their ability to be fake is going to be shown. When you have stabbed people over and over and over and over and over again, there is no way you can escape the karma. There is no way you can escape the angels, God, the goddess, whatever you believe. They're writing a list. You cannot escape that list. It will come back to you. Evil thinks that they will be supported forever. They think they're going to have the devil's blessing forever. They think that because they've been so blessed with the ability to create illusions and destroy people for so long, that it will never catch up with them, because they're ignorant, they're stupid. They only think minute to minute to minute. They don't think about the long game. They don't heal themselves. Eventually, a narcissist is going to be that old person that nobody wants to take care of, that nobody goes to visit, that nobody wants to see, because you have been such an awful piece of shit your entire life. That is the fact of it. So when it comes down to dealing with these narcs that come after us, guys, if you deal with a smear campaign, you deal with an action, deal with someone. Listen, they're light. They have no light. They have no light. And if you live in a cycle of destroying other people in order to validate your existence, that is not a sustainable future. You will show yourself. You will show your ass. It will happen. Trust and believe. That's why healing is important. No content, continuing on your own, continuing to be better yourself. That is the most important thing, brothers and sisters, because you have something that a narcissist will never have. Light inside of you, connection to God, connection to source. They do not have that. They're empty vessels, they're shells. And once they become useless to the devil, trust me, darkness will eat its own in a heartbeat. They cannot escape it. So that's
Perfectly said.
That's my speech. Thank you, brother.
Let me sum that up. Light, like a flame. Here, I just lit my candle over here, but a flame. It radiates light. It's from it. The source is inside. It's the fuel. The source is on the inside, and then it gives out. Darkness is like a black hole. It sucks in. It needs things from the outside to go inside of it. And these narcissists, these vampires, they look at everybody. They look at all of humanity as supply. And they think that they can just, there's so much of it out there. I could just have it all and destroy it all and suck it all into me. But eventually they get older and older, and people around them who they're abusing, who are maybe like their family, they're kind of stuck with them. Eventually they will rebel and leave, and their children will leave them, and their family will stab them in the back and get sick and tired of them, and they're just sucking it in, but eventually they die alone.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly, brother.
if you radiate light, you will attract people to you.
Real quick, Mike does with a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for being such a good supporter of the channel. I greatly appreciate that. You keep us going. You keep it pushing. I love you, Mike. I'm gonna get you a bumper or something for you, brother. Hold on one second. Let's see, Drake. If you can't see the super stick, oh no, I got you, brother. I got you. I don't want to stop the flow when people are talking. That's all. But I greatly appreciate it. And I got my phone on so I can see the sticker. Thank you. I want to go through one more video before we stop. And oh God, Jay, real quick says after giving me his STD gifts, he laughed about it because they're sick. They're sick, Jay.
Oh my God.
They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm sorry you went through that. All right, let's do one more video, and then we'll move on to the assessment segment because we're about 10 minutes out. All right, Lisa, speak to us, baby.
How somebody chooses to end a relationship shows you exactly what their character is made of. It tells you who they really are. For a narcissist, a breakup is always psychological warfare. It turns into a game. They make themselves the winner, which means they need to make you the loser. They take breakups quite literally. They need to make sure you are broken. There is no normal relationship that ends in devaluation, leaving you confused, or even giving you the silent treatment. The silent treatment is a tactic used by a narcissist to keep you in a cycle. When a narcissist is devaluing you, more times than not, it's because they are already love bombing somebody else, repeating a cycle. And when they now break up with you, leaving you confused and battered, it leaves you stuck so that they can come back and put you back in that cycle. Listen, if you have to hit the Google wondering whether or not something is normal, it is not. If you have to hit that Google wondering whether or not you have just been abused, you have. Your guardian angel wasn't on a smoke break. You're dealing with a narcissist who's playing a game and trying to put you back into a vicious cycle.
You know, I know that James already talked about this earlier, you know, him coming out of that last year you were talking about, but is there anything you could add or comment about that as far as this video is concerned?
Yeah, that silent treatment is absolutely brutal. I was out in Michigan at my one of my twin sons' bowling tournament. He was in a national tournament, and you know, I had to have the location on all the time. And as soon as she would get mad at me, or you know, obviously the every 10-second texts were always there constantly, but as soon as she would get mad at me, you know, I'd get blocked. No questions asked. Right. And then I was literally watching her little what do you call it, on the location thing go and then drop off, and then she disappeared for like 2 days. And she was heading out to a city where I knew, you know, something was going on. And I'm out in Michigan, and what am I going to do about it at that point? So yeah, there was a 2-day silent treatment, and this is my wife, you know, and just total blatant disregard. She knew what she was doing. It was done intentionally and insidiously, and just on purpose. Knowing that I'm trying to enjoy my time with my kid at this tournament, knowing that I'm going to be devastated and not be able to pay attention to what I was out there for, because I'm so just racked up in what she's doing right now. So yeah, that silent treatment thing is just brutal. And it's insidious, and it's intentionally done to hurt. And then when they come back, they're like, what are you talking about? They act like nothing happened. They act like, you know, they act like they didn't do anything wrong. And when you're in that cycle and you have that bond, it's just like, okay, you know, maybe it was my fault. She gave me that silent treatment. So,
like we have no feelings.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
hard.
Yeah, it's super hard. And it's the worst feeling in the world. As far as I'm concerned, it's just horrible.
Yeah. Scotty, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I found it interesting going back, I don't know, like a half an hour in Lisa's video. She said there's some things you're going to have to get used to. When she said STDs and the silent treatment. Is that what she said?
Yeah,
And
and all being blamed for everything. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But it was funny that she paired those two together because they're like not the same. One's physical, one's emotional. But the way she said it was funny because it was like pretzels and skydiving, just completely different. But yeah, the ghosting's rough. Ghosting's really hard because you just want to. This happened to me for weeks at a time, and you just want to communicate. You want to say, "Why are you doing this?" And there's just games, because a healthy person, or at least one that's being hurt, just wants answers. And you want honest answers, and you want accurate answers, and you want truthful answers, and they don't have any of that. And they know that you're expecting that from a full-grown adult, and they know that them being a little demon child, they can't rationalize, they can't be truthful, and they can't reason, and so they just ghost. And what that is running away from the problem, and in doing so, it drives you crazy.
Well, it's not just running away from the problem, but like if you're dealing with a cheater, with like a semantic, it's about
it's tactical
ghosting.
Too,
it's tactical. Like it's trigger. You want to trigger your abandonment. You know what I mean, and get you all riled up with no answers and sitting alone while they're doing something with somebody else. And I mean, we're all connected. Like we're all feeling human beings. I think we all have a degree, I think, of like extrasensory perception. You know that something's going on, especially if it's been a habit. Like you feel it. You know that the person you love is with someone else, or there's something going on.
Right.
And it's all about torture. Kevin says that I was so traumatized and had to see doctors and a psychologist for it. The doctor said there were no diseases caught from the molestation and assault, but the psychologist detected high PTSD. Oh, brother. You know what I mean? My love to you, dude. Everything that you survived and went through in life, and to come out, to come out where you are now, Kevin, thank God. Man, thank God for you. Keep on pushing, brother. Like what in that video that she was talking about before, about like dealing with, like, yeah, you know what, if you're going to stay with a narcissist, like, I think all of us who have been around them for years or been with them for a long time knows that you've got to accept certain things. Like, you're going to be blamed for everything. You're going to be treated like crap. You have to accept that you have to live in their lies, or you're going to get punished for that. You've got to live in their illusion, which you know is wrong, or you're going to get punished for it. You're going to get beaten down. There's certain things you have to accept when you continue to try and be with these people. And one of the hardships, I think, coming out of it is realizing you weren't a friend to yourself, realizing you didn't love yourself by trying to stay in it, and by continuing to be in it. I mean, trauma bonding has a lot to do with it, the psychological damage and manipulation that keeps you in that cycle. Absolutely. But I mean, at the end of the day, healing is also realizing you didn't love yourself as much as you should have, that you put up with too much. You weren't being a friend to yourself. And you were giving that to somebody who never appreciated it and was never going to change or heal.
Very true. Whose friend were you trying to be?
Spot on.
Yeah.
Hey.
Mr. Tickle Trunk out there sharing Narc Destroyer Survivor gear. Guys, please check out that link. Check out our boy's website, and get some support a survivor, man. Support his channel. And if you're on TikTok, or if you have a TikTok account, please go check that out.
Appreciate it.
Narcissist Slayer. That M word. What did I say? The M word of the song. I can't say that either. Mr. Tickle Trunk's a veteran wrench.
What?
All right. Thank you.
Stop. Hey. Shh.
Thank you. So let's take a look and give our final assessment of Lisa Lu Girlpower. Immortal Coil, would you like to go first?
I don't know if I should. We had
something
an agreement.
nice.
Right. Okay. She is smart. She is correct. All right. That's about it.
All right. All right then. I personally have always been watching Lisa Lu. I've loved her fire. I love her passion, her messaging. It's geared. I think the energy of it's geared toward women. It's geared to women survivors. But I think you can take any of us can take something away from it. Seeing a woman. I mean, for me, it didn't really matter the gender, but seeing someone stand up, tell these truths, someone who's surviving, someone who had been through, like you can tell in her early videos, like, I mean, she's still, to this day, she's still getting stalked. She's still getting stalked by narcissists. So, that along with her coaching other people gives her more content. And I kind of feel that because honestly, even when my friends didn't know it, when I was too ashamed to tell anyone that I was still being hoovered and she was still coming around, it gave me content because I was, going through more, having to learn lessons continually, bang my head up against the wall until I finally got through it, till I finally understood the lessons I needed to. And I think that's like man or woman, it takes a lot for we survivors of domestic abuse, narcissistic abuse, to step forward, take the lead, express ourselves, and really just bring awareness to these conditions and what's happening in our lives, our experiences, and what you can expect, but also to be there for other people that need to hear those words. So Lisa's one of my absolute favorites. I'm so thankful for her. Scotty, what do you think of Lisa Lu?
Yeah, I just started watching some of her stuff because of you, Stephen, and there's so many survivors who have turned into content creators that there's no shortage of them out there. They're everywhere, and there's different ones on different platforms. So, but yeah, I recently spent I don't know a couple hours just doom scrolling, right, or narc scrolling. And just went through her videos and some of the ones that you shared today. I've seen recently, and she does really good. She's nice, very short, power packed, boom, things that people can relate to. Those of us who've been through it, and she has a way with words. She says it very well, and they're inspiring. They give you a little dopamine that you're not alone.
Yeah,
And,
dude.
Yeah, she's doing great, and I hope that she continues and continues to help people because we need the truth spoken out by the empath who was almost destroyed. We need more of that. We can't let these people just wreck us and then stay silent. That's not right. It's not fair. So, kudos. Yeah.
Well said. James, what do you think of Lisa Lu?
She's powerful. I love her passion and anger. And I've been actually following her since and listening to her stuff probably a week out of my shit a year and a half ago. Her and other content creators, it just kept me angry enough to stay no contact. And I gotta tell you that no contact is the hardest thing to do. It really is. If you can fight off the hoovering and the urge to peek at their social media and the urge to argue with the flying monkeys and all the triangulation, all the people they triangulate you with, and then kudos to you. That's half the battle. And she brought she brought a lot of hope to myself. So I give her a thumbs up on her whole her whole page is great. So
wonderful, guys. If you would please, there are links to all of the sites that she's on, Instagram and TikTok, in the description. There's also one pinned in the comments. Please follow her, give her some support, and also for everyone on this panel who has links, including Coach Randy White, the thoroughbred, the champion, who fell ill. But Randy will be back next week. He said he wanted me to send his love to all you guys. Please check him out too. He's always putting out content, and one of the toughest sons of bitches out there. Real quick before I go, wanted to mention James, one got you beat. 50 years of BS with the Narcissists. Yeah, man. You know,
Man,
so
what a relief for sure. Kudos,
yeah,
man. Kudos.
yeah. You got, you know, you're out of it, and it's breaking that conditioning, loving yourself, finding yourself again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community, Rester. We need that strength. We need that. You're a hero, really, for everything that you went through, and to have come out the other end, no contact, to have come out and be a survivor of 50 years of it. Thank you for imparting your strength and your wisdom and being here a part of this chat. We
real.
greatly appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now we do outros. This is the part of the show, James, where we all do outros and tell everybody where we are, where they can find us. So, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. What and where we are, as in the state?
Go find you on Go find you. No, don't dox yourself, James.
I'm kidding. I'm on TikTok and TikTok only. Unfortunately, I've not been able to restart a Instagram for fear of discovery and stalking again. But I can't believe she hasn't found me on TikTok. But up till just a few months ago, even my face and my likeness was not anything. It didn't have anything shown on TikTok. So, and one of the things I did know is she never was on TikTok. So I don't think she would ever found me anyway. So
well, don't give anything away, because we have stalkers here and they love to triangulate. So they'll.
Yeah, well, I think I'm past. I think I'm healed out enough to fight those suckers off now. So you know, here I am. You know, come get me, and good luck with that. So
yeah, that's the attitude, Narc Hammer.
Yeah, I'm at Narc Destroyer on TikTok with a and you could type in Narc Hammer and find me there as well. So yeah,
all right,
check me out. I appreciate it. I appreciate the shout out on the website. I've got a lot of loud shirts that just say, you know, basically, F you, I survived your shit. So let's yell it to the top of the world. And if it just gives people a voice that, you know, if they don't have a voice to yell it out themselves, you know, they can wear it really loudly. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. You people said that you can stay. You're gonna have to come back because the chat likes you, James. So you are welcome back anytime soon, brother. All right.
Anytime. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, man, if you're available next week, I'll throw you a link.
Shoot it on over.
All right, brother.
Next up
is the smooth like eggshells face, the young face of Scott Clark.
I didn't shave today. So the outro is, let me just type it in the thing. Boom, right there on YouTube. This is the channel that I will be putting Narc content on it. It's GOSONC, which stands for just what it says. Get out, stay out, no contact. That's the best advice I can give for anybody. If that's a possibility for you, do what you can, because you cannot heal in a house that's filled with toxic smoke. You have to get out and get some fresh air. You cannot heal in that location. So
amen.
Take it.
Yep. That's it.
All right, brother. Well, guys, please make sure to subscribe, check out. I don't know. I'm attracting them. It's my good looks, Mr. Tickle Drunk. I don't know. It's amazing. I've met more really decent people doing what I'm doing now. Not that the Author Steve Wall audience, I love those guys. Even the grouchy, even one man show, the grouchy ones. I love those guys. But being here in this space, like every now and again, you'll see like a narky person or a toxic person or a troll come through, a flying monkey or something. But the great thing about being a part of the Dragonstorm community and being in the Narcissistic Abuse Awareness community itself is that, like James had said earlier, when you go through this and you heal, you can see So you see them. It amazes me whenever narcs come through this chat because we see them. Everybody sees them. It doesn't take long to figure them out. So we're all supporting one another. Doesn't matter where we come from, what language we speak, what country we live in, what God we pray to. If we do, that is like the most beautiful aspect of being a part of this healing community, is that we are here together. We are all together. We're accepting of one another because we've all been through the same battle with these demons out there. Some of us longer than others, some of them worse than others. But it's the same cycles. Like Scott always says, it's the same cycles. They only go to school for it. It's the same type of demonic force. It's the same type of darkness. And they can't help themselves. Same lie manipulators. And being here that's right. And they are clowns. That's true. Clowns in a burning circus. And I love what I'm doing now. But for those of you who are interested in entertainment commentary, I'm going to be doing a limited run of Rogue Entertainment starting in 2 weeks over there on my channel, Author Stephen Walton. So please come check that out. And if it's your first time here, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button, dislike, whatever it is. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to support your independent creators, whether they're on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or Rumble. If they are creating books, they are making comics, they are creating content, they have stores. Please make sure, even if you can't buy or purchase something from one of these stores, sharing out a link does a lot. It promotes a lot for people who don't have an industry to support us. We're supporting each other. This is an indie sphere. We look out for one another. And guys, please remember to know your worth. Do not accept the garbage. Do not accept lies. Be a friend to yourself and love yourself. And that is where it should all start. Healing yourself, figuring out what it was in you that made you susceptible to a hoovering hobgoblin, to be a target of manipulation, because there must have been something in you that allowed you to stay in it. Heal that up, shore it up, know your worth, love yourself, create strong boundaries. You can achieve anything, brothers and sisters. You can do anything in this life. You can come back from anything. You can heal from anything. And if you still got those scars, you wear them like armor, because those are lessons that you learned in this life that you needed to in order to become the best or a better version of yourself. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies, and I'm also Lodanis, Ravenwolf Dragonstorm, Ysir, and Sage. Hail to my fellow survivors and survivors from narcissistic abuse. Please remember to wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other, yet suffer no fools. Peace!
When you're born in this world, you're given a ticket to the freak show. And when you're born in America, you're given a front row seat.
Beth, you heard me. I said, wash your ass, girl. Don't give me shit. Wash the ass and the hands, all of it.